Debout. Reste debout, Faye, reste debout. Debout, debout. debout, paille, reste debout. Cherchez les profondeurs, Dakar. Mimi. Vas-y, laisse-toi, vision. Non. Ah, bah. Moumi. Sal. Parlez les gars, parlez. Ouais. Mais il fait lent, il fait lent. Oh, le délai, c'est pas le hey, la MVP, jouez. Joue là. Encore. Sortez. Debout là-bas, calme. Debout, joue. Calme. Mets le pied sur la balle. Bilan. On connaît déjà. 4 d'abord. 4 d'abord. 10. Regarde-moi. Vas-y. Venez. Mike. À la fin de là. Mike. C'est après bilan. Passe. Mike. Encore Mike, encore. T'as battu de là. Mike, encore à droite. Joue là. Battez.
Too fast against.
Vecchio se putno nije mogu.
Jula, Bien, Mike, bien. Bien, encore. T'en Vas-y, maintenant. Bien, Fab. On remonte. Mikey, viens, frérot, viens. Vas-y, Ganago, amical, va sortir. Elle est sortie. Combien? C'est qui sortit déjà? Ganago, prêt. Ganago, pas ici, elle est sortie là-bas. Qui sort? Ganago est prêt. Max, regarde-moi. C'est bon, Max. On a compris, oui. Samba, colle. Ne partez pas le but, les gars. Ne partez pas le but. Et les gars, allez, au bout.
Really, we just seen Manchester City kicking from left to right in the first half in their light blue top and socks white shorts. And from right to left, who've got the game underway, Crystal Palace in their golden neck to toe. From right to left, they've just on the ball and they're going to go all the way back to Dean Henderson, the captain. I'll run you through the teams. Donnarumma in goal, Kusanov, Gehi, Guardiola and Nuri at the back four. Captain Bernardo Silva, Mateus Nunes and Phil Foden in the middle. Antoine Semenyo and Savinho take up the wide positions, and up top is Omar Marmoush, who comes in for Premier League top scorer Erling Haaland. And Crystal Palace 4 changes from the 2-2 draw with Everton on Sunday. Warden, Kamada, Sarr and Strand Larsen make way. Hughes, Lerma, Pino and Mateta come in. So it's captain Dean Henderson in goal. Canvo, Lacroix and Richards at the back three. Wing backs of Tyreek Mitchell and Munoz. Will Hughes and Jefferson Lerma in the engine room. That's a complete overhaul from Sunday. Brennan Johnson and Jeremy Pino in the wide position, of course, up top, the big Frenchman, Jean-Philippe Mateta. Man City just on the ball on the far side with Mark Gehi, who moves it inside, and down the line it goes, intercepted by Munoz, and then Will Hughes. It's myself, Nate Forsell, alongside me is Kieran Graham, as we take you through this game. It's Jeremy Pino on the left flank at the minute, just takes up the ball. He's going to go over the top early. Manchester City is sleeping. It's Crystal Palace coming through, all the way through to Jean-Philippe Mateta. Oh, what a save on the line by Donnarumma. Is that going to go in? Minute and 30 into the game, they're looking at the referee. What's he given?
He's given offside.
Oh, he's given offside. He's given offside. It's Stuart Atwell. There was a hesitant. Well, we've already talked about VAR. They look like he may just be a stride over. Like I say, it's myself, Nate Forsell, Kieran Graham. We've already got controversy in this game. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think that's the correct call. I think you probably agree. A bit of stride offside.
Yeah, it's close, isn't it? I tell you what, does it even cross the line in the end? We've seen it back. It's so close to see if it even did. I tell you what, Donnarumma does brilliant. to recover it and almost make the save in a case if he does make the save. But did it cross the line anyway? Yes, Brennan Johnson just offside in the end. But I tell you what, early warning signs for Man City. Bit of a bogey team, aren't they, for Man City? Crystal Palace, they enjoy it a couple of times at the Etihad, don't they? City have that with a few signs. Usually, up until last weekend, you'd say that Brentford sometimes caused them a few problems as well. A few eyebrows raised in the lineups, weren't they? Some real key players as of late on the bench tonight, the likes of Haaland, Doku, etc. It's a huge game for the likes of Marmoush and Savinho today, even Phil Foden. It's a weird time, isn't it, to be making changes like that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. We were talking about before the game, weren't we? It's a real strange one to be rolling the dice like this. Of course, they've got a final on Saturday, but going for the Premier League title, just getting the ball away, put it into touch. Palace have a throw in. Well, there you go. That's an early scare. 1 minute 31 on the clock when Palace put the ball in the net. Well, I'd say in the net. Donnarumma saved it, but it did go in. But just a stride offside was Brendan Johnson, and probably didn't need to be, the Welshman. 16 appearances, 0 goals, and only the 1 assist to his name. Brennan Johnson could have been 2 there, as the ball's going to be thrown down the line near side. Phil Foden on the ball, pocket picked, but zipped all the way back to Donnarumma, who sits on the ball. Well, since losing their opening home game, Man City at the Etihad to Spurs, they're unbeaten in all the rest 16 at the Etihad, and they've opened the scoring in all 16 of them, which tells you everything. As it stands, that still stands as of right now, because they can still score first, because Crystal Palace goal ruled out very early on, but absolutely stellar at home, has to be said. But work to be done this evening. That was an early scare as Palace move it down the left flank with Guardiol, and City keeping on the ball like they like to do, sort of tiring teams out. Was sitting on it. Mark Gahey, against his former side, used to be club captain, of course, the number 15. He moves it to Kusanov. We had it out on the right-hand side at right-back position, but maybe just filtered in with Mateus Nunes at right-back. We'll have to see how that sort of shapes up. Ball's going to be floated to the near side for City. Savinho, stellar first touch, looking for Semenyo, just slightly past him. Tyreek Mitchell will keep it in on the near side, and he's won himself a throw, and I think, no, it's been given the way of Manchester City. With an early flutter for Palace, but City definitely growing back into it.
Yeah, they have. They just want to hold the ball. They need a lot of the ball in this game to Man City. But Crystal Palace, they know how big this game is for City, so they'll try play onto that fact. They'll try and force mistakes, force nervy moments as well, which they know they're good enough to do. Of course, they've got a final themselves to look forward to, Crystal Palace being in the Conference League final. And I tell you what, if it ever gets to a point where City are struggling to break down Crystal Palace, like we mentioned, they are not short of options on the bench. We've seen an image of the likes of Haaland, Cherki and Doku, some of, if not the best attacking players in the world.
Yeah, that's some bench that. And Doku, of course, involved in 7 goals in 6 appearances. He's really come of age in the latter stages of this season, as it's moved inside from 8 Nuri, the former Wolves man. It's City on the ball, bang in the centre of the Palace half. Mateus Nunes thought about pulling the trigger. He's going to go 1-2 to the byline, right hand side. Ball in, ricocheted off 3 people. It may have already gone out before hitting Nunes. Off Cambo, the Frenchman. I think we're going to get first corner of the game. They're asking for handball. I don't think they're going to get that one. It was an arm down by the side. Let's have another look at it. It has hit the arm. It's one of them, isn't it? It's a very grey area sort of thing.
Yeah, he's so close. He's in such close proximity as well, isn't he, JD Canvo? So I'm not too sure I would be giving a penalty for that. And I believe the corner kick is going to be allowed to be taken.
I'd agree with that. Stuart Atwell and VAR are already working overtime. Of course, we have our controversy in the VAR room on Sunday with the Arsenal-West Ham game. Of course, Spurs themselves on Monday night thought they should have got a penalty. Phil Foden in swinging first corner of the game. Into the box it goes. Good defensive header over to the other side of the box. They still haven't cleared their lines here, actually, Palace. Moving it backwards. Cleared it to Silva, left-hand side of the box. In it goes. Richards under it, the American. And need to clear their lines now. Mateta back there for his team. That's a good ball. Maybe a chance for a counter-attack here. If Tyreek Mitchell can spread his legs over halfway, he goes. He needs a bit more support, though. Not a lot of movement in front of him. Goes to the near side to Munoz. Move from right to left. And they're going to go back to halfway and just keep hold of it at the back. Cambo across. Lacroix, he's got that long ball in his arse, so he's going to go for Mitchell over the top. It's a bit too much on it, but he may just keep this in. Mitchell looks like he has gone out, and the referee has given a goal kick in the end. But there's signs there for me for Palace that they're not here just to be walked over. They're really trying to take this to sea.
Yeah, exactly, and they'll be looking to get on the counter-attack, won't they, Crystal Palace? They're a good counter-attack inside, and Of course, Oliver Glasner did lead Crystal Palace to that FA Cup final victory over Man City last season, so he's got his good history up against his opposition boss, Pep Guardiola. But yet, those balls in behind are going to be so important to these players like the wing backs, like Brennan Johnson, and you've just got to feed Mateta, haven't you? And we've already seen the damage they can cause on the attack.
City going to try come back on Mate Nouri. That's a good run down left hand side, trying to take 2 on. He's got himself a corner, took on 1, couldn't get past Richard, trying to put it through his legs. 7.5 on the clock. An official independent off-tube studio commentary. Manchester City 0, Crystal Palace 0. It needs to be 3 points for City, otherwise it's all looking to Arsenal on Monday at home to Burnley to win the Premier League title for the first time in over 20 years since they went invincible in the 03-04 season. And it looks like it will be a corner from the far side, an outswinger it looks to be with the left foot. In it comes now, dipping violently. Semenyo trying to get up there, but Lacroix beats him to it. It's a good defensive header by that man. And move to the near side for City. Back on the ball already. Savinho, right hand flank, trying to drive past his man. Good footing by Jefferson Lerma. Will keep working for his team, but it's another City corner, consecutive 3 in a row. They've gone short quickly. Foden goes to the edge of the box to Nunes, and then back to the original corner kick taker in Savinho. He's going to try to take on his man and does slip with the cross. Everyone back for Palace sitting in very deep, and now they're going to look for that counter. The out ball's not great from Brennan Johnson, looking for Will Hughes, and City already back on it. You don't want to feel like that Palace goal was maybe just that massive missed opportunity, and now they're going to sit on the back foot for a long time. Mate Nouri down the left flank, another Man City corner, is it? They are appealing for it, but the Welshman Brennan Johnson's put it out. It's relentless.
Yeah, it is, and we've seen a lot of Ryan Nouri in this opening 9 minutes. We know he's a fullback that loves to get forward, and he's trying to take his man on Munoz every single time. He's getting quite a bit of success with it as well. Matt Gay has just taken that corner for Manchester City. That was random.
Yeah, feeling it against his former side. Second most conceded from set pieces, Palace, so they need to be organised here. Footing goes in from Munoz. It'll be Nate Nouri throw in far side, about in line with the edge of the Palace box. They go a few yards backwards to Gahey. And key ball for Palace. No other games going on in England this evening apart from Stockport Stevenage in the League One playoff semi-final, second leg. Of course, Stockport won the first leg away at Stevenage with that freak goal. But we'll keep you updated on the goals going. There's the SPL games going, and of course all eyes on Hearts and Celtic. Hearts Falkirk 0-0, Motherwell Celtic 0-0, and Rangers are 1 goal down at Ibrox to Hibs very early in that. So me and Kieran will try our best to keep you updated with other goals, but hopefully plenty of goals at the Etihad this evening, with Kusanov moving it to Nunes, who doesn't like playing right back this evening. We had it down as playing in the holding midfield position. And Savinho trying to take on his man Jefferson Lerma, relentless in his pursuit. Has won the ball. It's come off Semenyo. It'll be a throw-in right in the corner on the near side for Crystal Palace. But yeah, I don't want to feel like Palace, now they've missed the opportunity of scoring. I don't want to say they missed it, because they did score it. Brennan Johnson is it me being critical saying that he shouldn't have really been offside? But you don't want to feel like now that hasn't counted, it may be a massive missed opportunity for him.
Yeah, big missed opportunity in that sense. And yeah, it's hard. Brennan Johnson, I can't say he's big Eastern fans. I think he can be quite clumsy with situations like that, and that's kind of proved it early doors in this one. But like we said, Palace have so much quality in their side that they really can just keep hurting Man City on the counter-attack if they need to almost turn it into that. But yeah, Man City, as expected, seeing a lot of the ball, creating half chances in and around the penalty area, but they just haven't created that big chance yet.
Well, you know they're going to have all the possession. That's one thing we do know, especially at home. Even away, they usually in every game have the most possession. That's the way they play. It's just about what they do with it. And for Palace, it's not going to be a lot of the ball, but be useful with it, really. And they're going to try that now. Mateta around the corner. That's a great flick. Down the line goes Brennan Johnson down that left flank. Can they get bodies in the box? Ball in with the left foot. It's not a bad one. Shot comes in. It's going to go wide. It's going to go out for a goal kick. He was on a bit of a stretch. I believe it, Jeremy Pino, the man that used to play in La Liga. I think they're asking for a corner. I don't think they're getting it. He was on the stretch. I believe he slipped as well. He went, I wouldn't say it was close, but it's brilliant build-up play. Not a bad ball from Johnson.
Yeah, I wondered whether Johnson missed the chance to really go and find Munoz on the far right-hand side, but it was on his left foot, so he took his time. It's a clear as day deflection. I think they may have got the corner in the end. Yeah, I think they did. There was a lot of complaining to a point where it was actually just obvious that a touch was taken. But yeah, decent ball in the end from Johnson. The cut back to Jeremy Pino, who took it off balance as well, hence why he never really generated too much power on it. But that's the counter-attack threat that I alluded to for Crystal Palace, because they've got that pace in behind.
Yeah, and it was going in, an important block, but yeah, Munoz was free on the back post. First corner for Palace as Will Hughes puts it in. Chris Richards with the header. Is that going to be another corner? It's going to be a goal kick. Was it an obvious touch off maybe a shoulder of Chris Richards? It looked like it took some sort of nick. It wasn't a telling touch. You feel like 5 yards out, he gets a good touch. It's 1-0.
Yeah, exactly, and it's a good chance for Richards, and maybe it should have been another corner. Maybe it grazed off the head of Matt Gahey. They didn't get that one. But yeah, positive moments. This is why you can't really count Crystal Palace out. Especially when it's 0-0, because they've got such a threat, whether it's from set pieces or there's counter-attacking transitions. So yeah, positive signs for a Glasner side.
Yeah, for the 30 minutes we've seen, for the most of the ball possession City have, Palace have done more with it in getting close to goal in the 2 or 3 attacks they've had. There's City back on it in the centre circle of their own half with Kusanov and Nunes. Standstill on the right hand side of the centre circle. No Palace players really closing down as he comes from left to right in the first. 13 on the clock, still remains 0-0. If you're late to the party, Palace did put the ball in the net, but it was ruled out for Brennan Johnson offside, a stride or so off. He was looking across the defensive line as well, so you do argue that he probably shouldn't have been. As Kusanov floats it to the far side, Munoz with a strong header up against Guardiola. Guardiola wins it. Ain't Nuri, he's been a busy man out there far side. Back to Gahey. May just fancy getting on the score sheet against his former side, where he sort of learnt his trade and made his name. As he moves it across, going to put a ball in now, floats it to the near side for Savinho. How's your touch? Traps it with the boots and the studs. It's a brilliant first touch. Flicks it back to Nunes, with the keeping hold of the ball. Standing them up well, sitting in deep, Palace, very deep. They're almost on the edge of their own box. Mateta is obviously their striker this evening. Floats to the far side, Munoz with the touch, and the head will be a Man City throw-in far side. About 20 yards from the corner flag on that far side. Hinting for foul throw there from Guardiola, but play will continue. Yeah, a lot of possession for Man City. Not getting close enough to goal just yet. They haven't created any form of chance, unable to break through this Palace unit so far. They're going right to left and left to right and just trying to cause some sort of opening. So far, not so good. Ain't Nuri down the line, put a ball in, hit the first man, and Richards out to the edge of the box. Gahey's going to go for goal. It's wayward, it's slashed. May have gone out for a throw, and he sees the funny side of it. I'm not sure the Man City fans will.
Yeah, he'd love to score against his former club, of course, signed from Crystal Palace this season. The former Crystal Palace club captain, of course, as well. I think that's why he smiles, because he's right in front of those Palace fans. You can only imagine that they has loved seeing that as well. They'll have seen the funny side a little bit like what Matt Gahey did.
Yeah, well, it's you just see we're just seeing the average position for Palace. Every average position's in their own half for them. So they're sitting in and playing on the counter. You're absolutely right, Kieran. You said that earlier. That's exactly what they're set up to do this evening, and almost pulled it off on a couple of occasions. Quarter of an hour into this one, but City back on the ball. Bernardo Silva, the captain for this evening, over to Gahey, far side into the Palace half they go with Guardiola. Will Hughes stepping out, trying to cause a rocks. I mean, he hits the deck very, very easily there, Mark Gay. I think he's got the free kick, but it doesn't take much in this day and age to win yourself a free kick. It's going to be played short and early, and just moving it down and trying to break through now with Phil Foden. He stabs it forward. That's a loose pass. Trying to find Semenyo, who's, of course, the danger man, the former Bournemouth man. He's not been in the game really just yet. Waiting for him to grow into it. Gahey centrally in the Palace half. I think City just trying to sucker some Palace players out of that structure and just trying to make a gap in behind. So far, not so good for them. They've got players on the far side if they can use them, and they will. Ain't Nuri right on that touchline as he kisses the white paint out on that far side. Inside to Gahey. Keep ball for City at the minute. No goals elsewhere as it stands. And moving it down the right hand side, Savinho on a counter, pulls it back straight into the feet of Will Hughes in the box. That was not a bad ball in, just couldn't find his man. And the shot comes in, it's wayward. It's going to be a goal kick. Kusanov as the rain begins to come down in Manchester. It's 2 shots apiece, no shots on target, and 83% possession so far for Man City. I mean, stats sometimes don't tell the story, but I think that's exactly what we've seen so far.
Yeah, it probably is. Pretty even game in terms of big moments. Kusanov just saw his Vincent Kompany moment, didn't he, from distance. He's absolutely rifled it. The rain's starting to come down at the Etihad as well, which is going to make it wet conditions, which means more mistakes, which means more chances and more drama, hopefully, in this one. You can't underestimate how big this game is for the Premier League season. I mean, Arsenal fans watching on will look at this game just tonight as almost as important as their remaining 2 games themselves. I guess City drop points tonight. It's essentially Arsenal's title, isn't it? Because, I mean, if we live in a world where Arsenal somehow don't beat Burnley at home with 2 games to go to win the title, then maybe Arsenal wouldn't deserve it.
Yeah, I have to agree. We've had a couple of goals, a Stockport goal to make it 2-0 on aggregate and may just put them 1 foot into the Championship. Louis Barry, the Aston Villa loanee, may have just sent them to Wembley. And we'll get this, another goal in the SPL. Motherwell 1, Celtic 0. Hearts fans will be very happy to hear that. And jubilation in the Old Firm and the lunchtime kickoff on Sunday. Well, Celtic are 1 goal down. They've got it all to do. Hearts and Falkirk still 0-0 and still 0-0 at the Etihad as it stands. Man City move it to the near side. 18 on the clock. 0-0. Savinho, bright spark down that right flank. Has to check it backwards to Nunes. Inside Silva. What a first touch that is. Shot comes in. Blocked at source by Will Hughes. Closing it down very smartly. 180 swivel with the trap for Bernardo Silva. And all the way back it goes to the keeper. Well, no team has won more games away from home apart from Manchester City and Arsenal and Crystal Palace. So they're a team on the road that can get the job done this season, but a man playing up top that hasn't scored in 17 away games in Jean-Philippe Mateta. So a team that like to get it done away from home with their prolific striker that doesn't like scoring on the road. Yeah, exactly, and it's been a weird season, hasn't it, for Jean-Philippe Mateta. Scored off the bench at the weekend in a game that I covered against Everton, but of course was meant to leave in January. That's why they signed Strand Larsen, so he's had to cope with Mateta and Strand Larsen. You think the Norwegian 26-year-old will be their main man from next season. I'd be surprised if maybe he doesn't start in the cup final, but we see City on the attack. As Nate Nuri comes forward, shot comes inside netting. It was his weaker right, and the pass was stabbed down him. He had to cushion it with the midriff, and it was on the half volley. I think composure just let him down at the vital moment. It almost the technique looked like he had to snatch at it inside the box. Say about 7 yards out. The angle's against him, but yeah, lost composure and weaker foot. I think just let him down. Yeah, it was. It's a good chance as well for Aït-Nouri. It really is. He goes with laces rather than letting the ball settle and open it up and looking towards the far corner, which, I mean, a more natural goal scorer or attacking player would certainly do. But we now see Palace back in possession. Lacroix takes a risk. That's got to be a foul against Aït-Nouri. It looked like he was just too physical initially, but then he dragged his man down and Lacroix gets away with it. He definitely did get away with it. Why is he taking a chance there? It's absolutely beyond me. It's but he's been pulled down yet. Maxence Lacroix, probably I think Palace's best player this season. A few stints of last season, he's been absolutely brilliant. Former Wolfsburg centre half. Moved to the far side to Will Hughes, trying to put it down the line. Off a City man, it will be a throw-in. Bit of respite for Palace. Halfway inside their own half on the far side. They have themselves a throw-in, which they'll just take their time in taking. Yeah, the rain is really coming down. Now, a good strong challenge from Will Hughes. Going to put a ball down the line, Munoz. It could be a Palace throw once again. Yeah, the rain has really started to bounce in. Pep Guardiola put his hood up. It's really starting to come down. We saw rain earlier today. Thought it may just let off for this evening, but that'll play a factor. Somehow Man City have a throw. They put the screen on Pep Guardiola for about 20 seconds, and all of a sudden City have a throw in exactly where Palace had one. So City begin to come forward once again, and Palace just sit in once again. They had that flurry, waiting to pounce, of course, but sitting in very defensively. So far, I talk about the possession stats for City, 80%. We've seen 7 shots, 5 of them for City, none of them on target so far for either side. So not very clinical. Ball down the line, look for Semenyo, too much on it, too much love and purchase. And that will be a goal kick in the end. It's a little bit early, but I think it's a good time to pass over to you, okay? Yeah, thank you very much, Nathan. As we just see that pass going behind again, and yeah, that wet surface definitely didn't help that situation. The ball just skids out of players. We now see Mitchell wins the header, finds Daichi Kamada, and that ricochets out of play for a throw-in. Only 21.5 minutes on the clock in this one. Manchester City 0, Crystal Palace 0. Palace almost had the ball in the back of the net. Still, we can't really confirm whether the ball crossed the line
or not from the replay that we got shown. Didn't matter anyway because of an offside in the build-up. As you now see Kuznov ready to take this throw, and he leaves it to Nunes. 5 shots for Man City so far. Still yet to test Dean Henderson, which will be something that frustrates Pep Guardiola. 22 minutes into this one. Savinho plays it into the middle. Not seen anything of Semenyo so far, have we, in this game? Camvo takes a risk, then it's a sharp turn away from Savinho from the Frenchman. Balling behind towards Mateta, who could be onside. Flag goes up straight away. And when a flag goes up straight away these days, that means he should be quite clearly off.
Yeah, I mean, they usually wait, don't they? Especially if he's in attacking position, but this time he goes straight up, which I agree that what they should do. But good ball down the line. There was a ball on inside, but he saw something I didn't. It was a good ball, but he just astride. It shows how much Man City love playing with that high line. Already been caught on a couple of occasions, Palace straying off, but there's definitely an out ball there. If they remain patient with it, but it's all about match fitness and fatigue. A lot of stages of the season you're getting ran ragged at home away at the Etihad. You know, it'll be heavy legs at some point, but if you just remain patient, it may just be that one long ball to make the difference. Yeah,
Savinho's been pretty poor in this opening 23 minutes as well. He's just sprayed a really poor forward ball to go straight out of play for a goal kick. Hasn't really got his City career going, has he, Savinho? He's a player that I think I'd be quite shocked if he's still with City next season or for much longer. He plays a little bit here and then. I would say he never really impresses when I see him. Aït-Nouri with another foul. This time it's on Will Hughes. He's had a few of them, hasn't he, already? Has the Algerian. He's been really involved.
Yeah, he's getting himself around. Just involved in the gritty, but some of the footy going forward is very good with his feet. Moves it down that left-hand side. He's got a good end product on him, minus that scuff shot, of course. But he's been the busiest lad out there. I'd love to see a touch count because I won't be surprised if he's in the top 3. That's for sure.
There's now see Camvo. He goes forwards into Lerman. Now it's going to be back for Lacroix. He's going to take a risk again, trying to take on Marmouche. He finds the pass for Richards, who instead of playing it down the line, he's just going to hoof it up towards Brennan Johnson. The clearance is only as far as Richards again. Turns away from his man, plays a pretty simple ball all the way back to Dean Henderson, and Crystal Palace now happy to just have a bit of the ball. Dean Henderson taking his time in the penalty with absolutely nobody pressing. Aït-Nouri thought about applying it, and Dean Henderson once again happy to just put his studs on the ball. He's going to take his time. Aït-Nouri is going to be the one who presses him in the end, and then they just lob it over to the right. It's not great from Henderson in the end, and they just gift it back to Man City. It's poor from Crystal Palace. We now see Vardiol, pretty advanced, is the centre half. He's basically playing in midfield, isn't he, so far, as we now see Vardiol. Nunes on the right hand side. Savinho back to Nunes. The pass through Savinho was on, but he never really looked. Looks for the back heel instead towards Savinho. Camvo gets in. He's up against the Brazilian. His clearance can only go out of play for a throw. Manchester City trying to keep it quick, just not creating anything properly so far. I can't imagine it'd be too long till we see the big dogs in the second half. That's good footwork from Foden, but a good challenge in from Mitchell.
Yeah, I don't think they're grown in frustration just yet. I don't think they ever will. It's just relentless for City, but you know they're keeping them at bay, Palace. That's for sure. It's 25 minutes on the clock, and you've got a long way to go for doing this. And when them tired legs come in, so do the tired minds, and then mistakes happen, gaps open up. That's what Man City love to do. And like you say, the artillery on the bench they have as well, City. It's good so far for Palace, but can they carry this on until 90 plus minutes? It's hard to do that, very hard.
Yeah, it would be very tricky, especially when you get into the second half and players like Doku and Cherki and Haaland are getting subbed on. As you see, Richards turns away from Aït-Nouri, who's basically as advanced. Aït-Nouri's basically the left winger, isn't he? Vardiol's the left back, and Vardiol just inverts quite a bit, and Aït-Nouri's almost told, right, you go up and down. You own that whole left-hand side, really. And Aït-Nouri's definitely, when they're flat out of possession, stood at left wing. He's applying pressure on the right centre half. So Pep Guardiola clearly sees a more attacking game out of Aït-Nouri in this one. As you see a ball towards Munoz, it's Vardiol and Aït-Nouri applying the press. Ball over the top finds Mateta. He looks for a headed flick on, and Kusanov just gets there. And those are the type of ones you have to be 100% in these conditions. All it takes is that little slip on the turn when you're desperate to get back, and a Palace player could have been in on goal, but here comes City on the counter. It's going to be Vardiol. Crystal Palace sat pretty deep. The Croatian goes across towards Kusanov. Now it's going to be Nunes. Ball to the right hand side, and it's Savinho up against just Tyreek Mitchell. Cuts onto his left boot. Still going is Savinho. On to his left again. Plays it across to the former Palace skipper, Matt Gate. They're just sat so compact at the moment at Crystal Palace. That's a poor challenge in from Aitnera, who, by the way, has had about 3 or 4 fouls already in this one. He's going to get away with it, I think. Or has he been booked? It's a late challenge on Brennan Johnson, but surely he's only got so many more before he gets a yellow.
Yeah, that was a naughty one. It was late. The ball was there, but he's gone in with the left toe, side of Brennan Johnson's foot, and then gone in with the knee as well. Bit of a nasty one. Brennan Johnson getting back to his feet. I'd be very surprised if he's got away with that. He'd be very, very lenient there, Stuart Atwell, if he hasn't brought out the card, and honestly, I don't think he has. But you've got to be saying he's walking a tightrope now. He's got to be. That yellow card's got to be coming eventually. He was away as well. I wouldn't say away, but leading an attack. So, yeah, it was a naughty one. And he has got away with it. Confirmed. Free kick's already taken. No card. So, yeah, next one.
No card is a big surprise. In that one for Aitneri. Long ball up towards Gay. He brings it down. Nice touch from him to find Phil Foden, who's been pretty quiet in the decisive areas, hasn't he? It's a lot of safe passing. It feels from Phil Foden so far. He's got to start creating chances. Semenyo so quiet. Marmouche, I don't think has touched the ball in about 15 minutes or so, has he? As we now see Kusanov out towards Nunes. These attacking players got to get involved for Man City and start to take a gamble, really, in creating chances, trying to unlock this Palace structured setup. As we now see Gehi turns onto his right again to find Vardiol. He had a run from Foden that he ignored. Back towards Matt Gate. Vardiol once more. Picks it up. In towards Matt Gahey once again. He's under a bit of pressure from Hughes. Gahey wants something. Plays it to the right hand side. Bernardo Silva. But once again, the movement is just so flat going forwards for Man City. That's a poor touch from Marmouche, but they win it back because of Chris Richards' clearance. We now see Bernardo Silva again. Crystal Palace just soaking it up so far. Nunes turns away from Mitchell. He's going on his own. He's taken down. It felt like Yeremy Pino. Doesn't get it. Bernardo Silva then slides in, and that's going to go for a throw, much to the confusion of Savinho. And Yeremy Pino and Savinho just having a go at each other there. A bit of verbals between each other. Savinho gives him a bit of a slap on the back as well, and the throw in, should I say, went the way of Man City. But yeah, those two maybe one to keep an eye out on. Not too happy with each other in that challenge. As I see Kusanov out to Mark Gay, who finds Aitneri. Mark Gay plays it once again to the right hand side for Phil Foden, who's got to start creating chances. He spreads it to the right hand side for Savinho, who's up 1v1 against Mitchell. Lays it off for Nunes again, who's going to drive forward. Switches play to the left with almost a short ball for Aitneri. He just about gets there. It's very flat at the moment, this game. Really, since Nathan passed over to me in that sense. As we now see Savinho, he looks for a switch ball once again in behind. It's never on. And the forward-thinking players for Man City have been very average so far.
Yeah, it's not one of them games I'm looking at here where I'm thinking Man City have to win this game. They need 3 points to be in shout of the title. It doesn't speak like that for me. If you're just going to put this game right in front of me, maybe it's speaking of 6 changes. You know, you change half your team from the weekend, which of course you've got a final on Saturday. You've got a lot of games. It's a long season. I understand that, but you know, it's almost like he's deciding, right, the FA Cup's more important at this point, and it is very flat, and they don't look very creative. And I think like the reason that the likes of Phil Foden are struggling is because the gap between the midfield and the defence is so small, because Palace are sitting so deep, but they're doing it very well. And we're just watching Man City go from side to side, and when they do get a shot off, it's nothing convincing, and there's no real big chances just yet. Ball goes forward, looking for Semenyo. That's an unbelievable touch.
Yeah, and here is Semenyo on the edge of the penalty area. It's a good touch, but it forced him a little bit wider, which meant they couldn't create the chance. Matt Gay whips it in, easily headed away by Jefferson Lerma. Hearts are now winning against Falkirk, so what a chance it is for them tonight. Can they win the title tonight? If they win and Celtic lose, I believe they win it all at home as well. So what a party that'd be. As the Semenyo in on goal! What a finish that is! Back heel from Foden, in behind for Semenyo, who's been so quiet, and finally they get that breakthrough, and Phil Foden has his moment, Semenyo has his moment. It feels like it's the first time those two have really got involved, and Man City take the lead against Palace 1-0.
Well, first real big chance of the game for Manchester City, and they've got the goal. It's brilliant as well. We said they lacked creativity. Well, how's that for creativity? Phil Foden back heel, and Semenyo with the right foot cutting across it. It's a brilliant, brilliant finish. It really is. We'll have another look at it. It's brilliant from Phil Foden as well, isn't it? The former Bournemouth man, Antoine Semenyo, has been absolutely fantastic since coming to Manchester City. 6th goal in the league this season for him. Let's have another look. Oh, what a back heel that is. And then sweeping it with the right foot into the bottom left-hand corner. Well, now there's a change of tactic for Palace. What was your plan B if you were going to go behind? Because they were doing well so far, but after half an hour you're 1-0 down. You can't play the way you've been playing or you're going to lose this game. They need to come out and put up a bit of fight, especially if they're already 1-0 down with the Man City's best players still on the bench. So, a bit of work to be done for Palace now, but what a brilliant goal that is.
It's a great goal, isn't it? We just needed that bit of brilliance from Phil Foden in this game. He's just giving it away to Jean-Philippe Mateta, and here they come on the attack. Mitchell with a chance himself. Big save from Donnarumma at his near post. Tips it behind for a corner. What a straight away impact and response from Crystal Palace that would have been. Mateta with the ball to the left. Mitchell with a first time strike. And Donnarumma produces a big save.
Yeah, they need to stay clued on here. Palace coming out. Well, that may just answer the question I was posing out. That do they have it in them to come out? And, well, it looks like they are. They're coming right back on the attack. When they come forward, they look really dangerous. So this game's far from over.
Yeah, you now see this corner ready to be whipped in now from Yeremy Pino, but it's straight into the hands of Donnarumma, who brings it down. He wants to bowl it out pretty quickly. He lays it off for Bernardo Silva, who finds Phil Foden on the attack. He's taken down by Will Hughes. Is that going to be a yellow card? He might just about get away with it. He definitely stops a counter-attack though, so I'm not too sure how he does. We could have seen a couple of yellows in this one.
Well, he's consistent, sure. Well, he's just consistently wrong. That's the problem. You know, he should have given out a card apiece. As it stands, 36 apiece. Only 1 goal in the goal difference as well. Arsenal 42, Man City 41. So even a draw, a point might just do it for Arsenal eventually. But of course, Arsenal want to get all 3 points, get the job done. They got Burnley on Monday, like we said as well. Man City won't play at the weekend as they're in the final as well. So on 77, getting the job done so far, Man City. But they need to stay alive and clued on, because when Palace do come forward, they've caused some problems.
Yes, you now see Lerma in possession. He's going to find Will Hughes, and it's Crystal Palace on the attack. Will Hughes, nice little turn away from Bernardo Silva, and then his passes behind Munoz. He looked offside as well. He just held on to it for way too long, didn't he? In the end, did Will Hughes. And then it was Trevella had passed. It was a poor one.
I think what the problem was, he was aiming for Brennan Johnson, who was just jogging offside again. It was rinse and repeat of what we saw for the goal early on. That's a massive waste, because you get in that position, get your runs right, cause some issues at the back. Just got it wrong again, and like you say, Daniel Munoz has got that all wrong as well by keeping hold of it. Looks like Hearts have doubled their lead at home to Falkirk, so Kieran rightly said, if it stays like this, Hearts will lift the title. First time since 1985 someone other than Rangers and Celtic could win the SPL. And also, just to know, Carl Wooten has doubled Stockport's lead. Striker comes centre-half. He is playing centre-half tonight. So it's Stockport 2, Stevenage 0, 3-0 aggregate. And it looks like it's either Bolton or Bradford in the final, but it looks more like Bolton after that 1-0 lead from the first leg.
Yeah, you now see Savino. He's on the right-hand side. They can be more patient now. Manchester City, it felt like they've been very patient actually in this game. They only created the one proper chance and it's just been dispatched. But yeah, they really don't have to force things now, do they? Having that lead is the most important thing. Mike Gay, he just completely wiped out by Brennan Johnson. A tackle out of frustration, it felt.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of them. It hasn't gone right for Brennan Johnson so far. He's been quite poor actually, the former Spurs man. And he said 1 assist in 16 games and he hasn't scored for Palace yet. His end product's not been good enough for the Welshman, unfortunately. That's a good spin from Mateta. Surely a foul. It is. If they start to tot up, it's Gahey in the back of Mateta on a good 180 spin. Have themselves a free kick. Interesting what Palace do here. Just right hand side of the centre circle, a few yards inside their own half. Interesting to see if they go long or they're just going to play it short and work from the back. I'd probably say they're going to go short, but for me in that position, yeah, they've gone short. For me, I'd be loading the box and trying to get the big lads in there, because you don't know which way it'll fall, especially in the rainy conditions.
Yeah, exactly. And the conditions are going to play such a big part in this game. As you now see Chris Richards, he's going to look to go through the middle. He gives it straight to Man City though, who are on the attack, and it's going to be Savino. He's got Mamouche to the right. He finds Omar Mamouche, who cuts inside, takes a terrible touch. In the end, his first touch was good, and then he just couldn't set himself to get the shot off. It's a big recovering challenge from Lacroix. and it's cleared out for a corner kick, but what a chance for City.
Massive. You've seen advertisements, some really poor football there. I don't know why Palace keep going back to making them risks at centre-half, right in the middle of the pitch. You lose it there, and then City are practically in. Done it again. There's only so many times they'll get away with that. And he has done there because Marmoush, like you say, his touch inside was not good enough, unfortunately. But Man City have themselves a corner.
Yeah, as you see this ready to be whipped in by Foden. Hangs it up towards the back post. Vardiol wins his header. It's cleared away. And as far as Pino picks the pass looking towards Mitchell. Great sliding challenge from Kusanov. And Savinho gets there first. Plays the simple pass. Pep Guardiola would be delighted by that. And Kusanov's second half of this season, I think he's been fantastic for Man City. He's been unbelievable at the back, as we now see Foden across to Bernardo Silva. He plays one to the left hand side for Aitneri. 37.5 minutes on the clock. It is Man City 1, Crystal Palace 0. Kusanov finds Bernardo Silva in towards Matt Gahey again for Aitneri. Forward ball into Semenyo is a good one. Semenyo skips his way into the penalty area, then he finds himself outside of it. Matt Gahey across for Semenyo again. Now it's going to be with Gahey. Finds Ryan Aitneri. Aitneri across to Matt Gahey. Cuts onto his right boot. Finds Kusanov. Kusanov still driving forward. Savinho into Bernardo Silva, who's going to look to check it across towards the left-hand side. He finds Ryan Aitneri. It's nice football this from Manchester City, but Crystal Palace still sat so deep at the moment. And Kusanov finds Matt Gahey. Feels like it's almost a Matt Gahey simulator in this one where we just keep saying these names. I feel like if I say it more, I'm going to start floating as we see him towards the right-hand side. And it's going to be Savinho who brings it down, step over to try and get the better of Mitchell. Good defending in the end from the Englishman, and his clearance. He's only straight back to Man City, and they've just got no outlet at the moment, Palace.
No, they're sitting in very deep. They seem a bit scared. They need to be more brave on the ball when they are. Their best chance of defending is attacking for me, for Palace. Step out, be brave, don't sit so deep and be nervy about it. You know, you are 1-0 down now, so why not take a chance on it? They don't seem to be wanting to do that at the minute, because the more they sit in 1-0 down, the more damage it's going to become.
Yes, we now see Aitneri finds Matt Gahey, turns away from his man into Bernardo Silva. Heavy first touch, plays it all the way back for Kusanov, who's been pressed by Mateta. Finds Gahey once more for Vardiol, who's going to drive forwards. Looks for a scoot pass into the penalty area. What a ball that is. Phil Foden across the face of goal for Marmoush, who goes for goal himself. And that's beautiful from Manchester City. And once again, Phil Foden is at the heart of it. And it's Marmoush with the finish. It is 2-0 to Man City. You think this game is all but done. And the message could be back to Arteta. You've got to do your job once again, because they're going to keep the pressure on until the final whistle.
Yeah, absolutely. They will do absolutely that. Or they're going to push Arsenal all the way, and the smiles come out in City. They look a lot more relaxed. Now, 40 minutes on the clock, 2-0. It looks like it's, like you say, all but job done. Lovely work down the left-hand side. A scoop pass by Guardiola, very imaginative. I think Foden, is he trying to touch that down? He's trying to take that down for himself. Either way, he's played it to Marmoush behind him, but he swiveled on the shot into the left-hand side. Brilliant finish. Looks like Celtic have an equaliser at Motherwell.
Yeah, Celtic with a huge goal away at Motherwell. And this is a huge goal for Man City in their title race. And yeah, just that little pass from Phil Foden, little hook pass. Great turn from Marmoush, hitting it on the turn as well. He's such a hard technique. Puts it through the legs of two players and just ahead of the boot of Dean Henderson. And look at the celebrations from Guardiola. Could be a huge victory. And 3 points this for Man City. I guess the worry for Guardiola would have been, I'm going to take a gamble and risk key players today. It's paid off for now.
The thing is for City is that they have two 11s, two very first team 11s, don't they? So yes, a question mark, especially from me before the game. You know, 6 changes, taking your best lads out right on a crunch time game. I don't think that's any disrespect to Crystal Palace. I just think because of the long season and the trust that Pep Guardiola has in this team. I mean, that 11 that's already out there now, there's a couple of first teams, of course, in there still, but you know, it's good enough to beat anyone on the day, isn't it? So I'm just watching Brennan Johnson start his run offside once again. That's a theme of play in this first half for Palace, but worry for them because already 2-0 down before half time. It does feel like a massive swing, that the fact that goal didn't count. Brendan Johnson could have kept himself onside. We could have been looking at a different game.
Yeah, we certainly could have been. As we now see a ball going behind up towards Nunes, brings it down. Good first touch from him. Pina turns away from his man, and in the end, it's going to be a free kick for a handball against Jeremy Pina. He can't believe the decision. But of course, Arsenal Burnley is Monday Night Football at the weekend. So certainly a big one, with Bournemouth Man City being the night after. As we now see Bernardo Silva, who finds Nunes. Driving forwards, finds Phil Foden. Back to Nunes again. And for Man City, is it just... Well, they're never really going to be this type of side to shut up shop. They don't need to, because their players are that good. They could really go for the sword. Goal difference could be absolutely vital. And that's presumed, isn't it, in this title race. And Munoz could have maybe let that run out for a throw in, ends up giving away a cheap corner.
Yeah, I don't think he knew what was behind him, so he's safety net of just putting it into touch. A searching ball, and that wasn't really finding anyone. Looks like Rangers have an equaliser at home to Hibs, but it's absolutely relentless now for City, and I'm worrying for Palace, because it may just be, oh, what a save that is from Dean Henderson. Yeah,
huge save in the end to deny it from being a third. It's now going to be Foden who touched it for himself. He thought about the volley, he plays it to Silva instead. He cuts inside, goes for goal, puts it over the bar in the end, but a big save from Dean Henderson, the Crystal Palace skipper, moments ago, just to deny that header from Josko Vardiol. And Crystal Palace have got to be careful, because it could get ugly here.
Yeah, this is very worrying, very worrying. I think they need to get in at half time, just 2 minutes plus additional, get in at half time, regroup the lads and go again, because it's not been good. What an unbelievable save that is from Henderson. Mid-height, good height for him, as everyone always says when it's at that sort of height, but to dive across like that on them reactions as well was absolutely huge for the Crystal Palace captain as well. But it's been Palace haven't been able to get out their own half for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, Phil Foden shoots from almost the halfway line, but he pings it off the head of Lequad. Dean Henderson's poor clearance allowed that, and what a touch that is. And his kick-ups, and he's having fun out there. Is Cervinho. The header goes out for a throw-in. That's it, isn't it, really, for Man City? They're having fun. Yeah. You can tell.
Yeah, absolutely. It's 2-0 up in the cruise control party football now. Savino's doing flick-ups like Thierry Henry. It's absolutely brilliant for Manchester City. It is men against boys at this point, unfortunately, for Palace, because they're not putting up enough of a fight. And they're just growing more and more out of this game. They go more and more out of this game, and Palace and City come more and more into it. But you like to think they're not out of it. If Palace score next, it'll get interesting.
Yeah, and here is Brennan Johnson on the counter-attack. He's quicker than Matt Gay. He's driving into the penalty area. Looks for the layoff for Munoz. And Brennan Johnson, just a terrible pass once again. Not great from him at all. As we now see Aït-Nouri, who finds Bernardo Silva. Then it's going to be Gay. Great football from City. Good challenge in. And once again, Brendan Johnson's just not alert. He's not had a good half, has he?
He's not. He's really let his team down. He single-handedly cost Palace that first goal as well, and he didn't need to be that extra yard offside. He's quick enough when that ball came over. I keep reiterating about it, but it's a real waste. Aït-Nouri's holding his left knee here. Maybe something going on. But the ball inside, he didn't need to be that. He knows he needs to be in front of him as he makes that run diagonally to his left. He's put it across his man, which means he can't get to it. A really poor ball. He was hesitant on it as well. And while he's down, we're just going to look at the goals. That Phil Foden back here was something else, wasn't it? We said he wasn't really in the game, but brilliant. Something out of nothing. And then Semenyo to sweep at home. And like I say, it's cruise control time for Manchester City. Absolutely brilliant. I'll tell you a stat while the Man City man's down. Man City haven't lost on a Wednesday night Premier League game since May 2010. Can you believe it? 16 years they haven't lost a Premier League Wednesday night game. Of course, they play a lot of Champions League on a Wednesday nowadays. And they lost to the other London club in Spurs 1-0. Peter Crouch in the 82nd minute.
Yeah, that's terrifying. Horrific. For any teams who see them play against each other on a Wednesday, I certainly hope my team don't come up against them on a Wednesday next season. I guess, yeah, terrifying stat for any side to play against them. But at that same stage, since 2010, Man City have been fantastic, haven't they? It feels. So we now see Ryan Aït-Nouri in possession. Looks to play it towards Foden. It's easily cleared away by Canvo off the hand of Aït-Nouri. How on earth has Aït-Nouri not been booked in this first half? But with that, half-time at the Etihad Stadium, thanks to a bit of brilliance from both goals from Phil Foden with 2 assists going into the break. It is Manchester City 2, Crystal Palace 0.
Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden back heel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home on the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time, it's Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden back heel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home on the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time, it's Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden back heel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home on the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time, it's Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden back heel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home on the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time, it's Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden back heel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home on the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time, it's Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden back heel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home on the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time, it's Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden back heel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home on the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time, it's Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden back heel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home on the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time, it's Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden back heel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home on the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time, it's Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden back heel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home on the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time, it's Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden back heel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home on the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time is Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden back heel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home on the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time is Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden back heel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home on the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time is Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden back heel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home on the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time is Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden back heel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home on the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time is Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden back heel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home on the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time is Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden back heel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home on the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time is Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden back heel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home on the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time is Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden back heel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home on the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time is Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden back heel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home on the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time is Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden back heel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home on the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time, it's Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden back heel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home on the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time, it's Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden back heel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home on the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time, it's Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden back heel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home on the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time, it's Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden back heel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home on the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time, it's Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden back heel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home on the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time, it's Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden back heel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home on the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time, it's Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden back heel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home on the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time, it's Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden back heel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home on the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time, it's Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden back heel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home on the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time, it's Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden back heel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home in the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time, it's Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden back heel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home in the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time, it's Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden back heel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season, and then 5 from the break. Guardiola ball over Foden with the flick for his second assist of the night, and Marmoush to slam home in the left-hand side for the Egyptian. Half-time, it's Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Half-time in Manchester between Manchester City and Crystal Palace, and City are getting the job done. If they didn't win tonight, it would have gone to Arsenal to win the trophy on Monday, but it took a slow start, but they got going. 32 on the clock. A Phil Foden back heel for Semenyo to sweep into the bottom left for his sixth goal in the Premier League this season. Once very warm welcome back, and we're just getting back underway for the second half between Manchester City and Crystal Palace. It's Manchester City 2, Crystal Palace 0. 2 assists for Phil Foden, setting up Antoine Semenyo, and Omar Marmoush is the difference between the two. 2 goals in 8 minutes has taken this game pretty much away from Manchester City, from Crystal Palace, I should say. Manchester City are getting the job done as it stands. Any drop of points and it hands it to Arsenal on Monday evening at home to Burnley. But so far, so good. Looks like this is the same 22 as we started the first half, as we're starting the second. It's myself, Neff Wassar, alongside Kieran Graham, as we take you through this Premier League game in hand between these two teams. It's one for me, Kieran. I think, I don't know if you agree, but Crystal Palace have to come out now. They have to really take to Man City. They can't sit back the way they did, negatively attracting all of that attention onto them. They have to actually play out from the back and get into their faces. Yeah, it's like they could just never really get going on a consistent basis, could they? In that game, it's going to be an early free kick for Man City, and no surprise that Neri is involved in winning it. He was so involved in the first half, wasn't he? Maybe he could have got a yellow card another day, but in terms of Man City's attacks, they went through Neri quite a lot. It took City a good half an hour to really get going, but they did in the end, and that's what's important, isn't it, for Manchester City, who've looked really good from that almost 30th minute onwards, and yeah, we expect them to almost just cruise to 3 points. And they're going to try and make it 3. Down the line, right-hand side of the box it goes. Good strong tackle from Cambo. But it will be a Manchester City corner, first corner of the second half, and it goes the way of the team in the sky blue as they look. And what we talked about at half-time, Min Kieran, is the fact that goal difference, they're both on plus 42 goal difference. So in some state of fashion, if it did came down to the same points, Man City might be looking at the chance now to really boost the numbers there, as Phil Foden is looking to put it on plus 43 with his corner to tee up one of his teammates for a hat-trick of assists. In swinging left-footed balls flat to the first man. Will Hughes hits the deck, and the referee blows his whistle. Matt Gahey getting handsy on his former teammate, and it will be a free kick to Palace. 2 minutes in the second half, unofficial independent off-tube studio commentary. It's on our screens from Manchester in the Etihad as the rain still comes down. And we're seeing an animated Pep Guardiola. As I'll tell you what, he'll be a big miss the day he leaves the Premier League. He's such an authentic character and so charismatic. We're just seeing him now talking to the 4 officials, as he always loves to do. Around the grounds, in League One playoff, a semi-final second leg, Stockport 2, Stevenage 0, 3-0 on aggregate to Stockport. So it looks like they've got 1 foot in the Wembley final. Hearts 2, Falkirk 0, and Motherwell 1, Celtic 1. So as it stands, Hearts are 3 points clear going into that vital game on Saturday between Hearts and Celtic. Its range is Hibs, who have nothing to play for themselves, is 1-1 in that one as well. And of course in our game, Manchester City 2, Crystal Palace 0. It's in Man City's half over on the far side, quite deep in their own half. Will be Mateus Nunes, the former Wolves man, to take the throw in. for Manchester City. Palace need to press up and put some bodies in the box, of course. They play 3 at the back with them wing backs, so they heavily rely on them wide angles. But they're fairly deep so far, and they've given the ball away as they picked it up. Ball can be sprayed forward. Chris Richards on the shepherding duties and watches it all the way through to Dean Henderson. Of course, City unbeaten in 8 coming into this one, including that EFL Carabao Cup final win against fellow Premier League rivals Arsenal. And Crystal Palace haven't won and they are winless in 4 themselves. So the way the form goes, it's pretty much showing what we have right in front of us. Mateta trying to head this down, not going well so far. Maybe one of them, key where Palace might have to look to the bench to try to change this one.
Yeah, just for a bit of energy you feel in this one. Like we said, even if it's a couple of changes in midfield, some key players are on the bench. You like series Miley Sarr, Adam Wharton, Daichi Kamada, even Strand Larson. These are all players that you think if they were started maybe could have caused a lot more problems on the counter-attack. But both sides have benched key players today, haven't they? And it's just Man City who've been able to take advantage of it as they win a corner.
Yeah, another one. It's heavily in the corner favour to the home side. 7 corners to Palace's 2. Hasn't amounted to anything just yet for City, but they'll try to do so now as they wait for Matt Gahey to get forward again, who would love a taste of a goal against his former side. Maybe Aït-Nouri with the outswinging left footer, looking for that man in defensive header outwards, centrally outside their own box. A bit of a battle between Cambo and Foden. All the way back it goes to Donnarumma, and 5 minutes into the second half, we have kicked this second half off as we ended the first. Just pure Manchester City, and Palace aren't in this game at all. It could be a long night for the Eagles if it continues this way, who do kick towards their own fans in the second half behind that goal on our right hand side of the screen as we see it. Gahey down the line, far side, to halfway, and keep ball now and across the face of their own box as Pino steps up ever so slightly, the former Villarreal man. And that front three, Brennan Johnson looking lively as well. I can't see him lasting much longer, the Welshman. There's a chop round the corner, it's good from Savinho, just about gets a good bit of luck into the centre circle to Guardiola, drives out the left hand side of it. He's got bodies to his left and right through, looking for Semenyo, a bit nonchalant, good read from Richards. His ball out isn't good enough, and that's the problem for Palace. Their out balls have not been good enough since getting the ball back. When they do rarely get the ball, they've wasted it, and they've done so just again. As City already back on the ball, centrally in the pitch, and then Palace go back into that negative part of the bus. And I call it negative because, yes, it worked for a long time, but as soon as it goes 1-0, it has to change, and it hasn't, and then it became 2, and this only points to 3. That's a late challenge advantage played by Stuart Atwell. Is there an advantage? Play resumes nonetheless, keeping hold of the ball, and the attack continues. Kusanov glides the ball to the near side. Aït-Nouri on the shoulder down. He's trying to play it forward, and it looks like it will be a Crystal Palace goal kick, and it might just be a first yellow card of the evening. Yes, it's come out of Stuart Atwell's pocket. It's going to be for a Crystal Palace man. I will confirm exactly who it is. He was very late with the challenge over on that far side. Tyreek Mitchell, the Palace number 3, is going to go in the book up against Savinho. The ball was there. He had all eyes on it, but there's a graze of the studs right on top of them. The boot. Okay, if you've ever played football before, like we have, you know. And that thin piece of skin at the top of the boot, when the studs come grazing across, that'll be a painful one.
Yeah, really painful for Savinho in that sense. Maybe it just sums up the difference between these two sides. Savinho just a bit quicker to the ball. They've just been that little bit sharp, haven't they, in this game, Man City, which has been the difference. It's felt like Man City have only had 2 really good chances today, and they've taken them both, and that is just the difference between these two sides at the moment. But yeah, this second half, it's almost started as we expected. Man City seen a lot of the ball and almost packed in Crystal Palace final third.
They haven't done much with it, as they try and do so now with Munoz, who's just going to put an out ball forwards. Can't even get it over halfway without it being intercepted. Man City have got the job done and done it very well without their main hitters even on the field so far. Gahey inside to Kusanov in the centre circle of his own half. Bernardo Silva dropping very deep to pick it up. And just trying to attract the Palace players forward as they do step up the midfield. Guardiola going backwards. Munoz on the drive. That's better. Need more of that. Bit braver on the ball. Of course, Oliver Glasner waves goodbye to Crystal Palace. You would like to think he keeps them in the Premier League this season, and they're in a Conference League final. No matter what happens in that final, you've got to say it's a successful season, being that they have got in a European final, I should say. Of course, they'll love to win it. against a very good Spanish side in Rayo Vallecano, of course. He's moved to the near side to Richards, gets halfway. Munoz traps him on the ball right in front of Pep Guardiola on this near side, as we can see it on the screens. Backwards they go. It's key ball for Palace, but when they do, I think it's just more respite than anything. I don't think it's that methodical. I think when they work best is when they're going for the juggler and they're going gung-ho and the counter. And it's keep ball time for them. And they haven't seen a lot of it in the last, 30 minutes or so, including, of course, half-time in between. Lacroix spreads it to the near side to Munoz. Bit of space for him. 2 men offside, and Brennan Johnson's one of them. Glides the ball looking for Mateta. Chests it down to Johnson. Trying to play it forward, and it's a really poor ball. He's trying to make a 2-yard pass to Mateta. Can't find him. Will Hughes, right hand side, that's better. Inside it goes. Brennan Johnson helps on its way. Jefferson Lerma, it's a really bad first touch and then blocked right in front of him. Foden going forward. It's a high line from Palace. Henderson's come out early and had to. Heads it forward to Chris Richards and moves it to the near side. Munoz, right on this near side, goes back. So I tell you what, when Palace, if they're better on the ball going forward, they can have some joy.
Yeah, they could. They really could. And I feel like if they had players like Adam Wharton and Ismaila Sarr in their lineup, they'd be a lot better in this one without it stating the obvious because of how key those players are. To just set the lines more, to be more effective with Ismaila Sarr in behind in those moments where Brennan Johnson's had it. Ismaila Sarr's just a little bit more clever, isn't he? Well, quite a bit more clever in those situations and a lot more dangerous as well and effective. But yeah, Crystal Palace, they've got the potential. They had the potential in the first 10 minutes of this game. But when they're out of possession, that's where the worries be.
Yeah, Brennan Johnson again just stood offside calling for the ball. 8 goals this season in the Premier League for Ismaila Sarr. Of course, scored at the weekend as well with that banging left-footed finish against the Toffees. Probably one of their main hitters in the front three. From the wide position, he's probably their most attacking outlet. Jefferson Lerma just giving the ball away, just walked into Semenyo. That's really poor from the number 8. I don't think it's going to be long before Oliver Glasner looks to his bench. I think he needs it. The legs look slightly heavy out there. Mateta's not brought that much to the game, the French forward, either. There's flick forward into Marmoush. He dropped slightly deep to pick up the ball and moved it to the near side to Aït-Nouri. He's slightly quieter in the second half. 10 minutes into it, as still Man City 2, Crystal Palace 0. Good ball from Guéhi. Find Marmoush in a pocket between midfield and defence, and back on the ball to Aït-Nouri on this near side. Sitting in very deep once again are Crystal Palace, and I think it's just going to be quite a long evening for them. It's going to be quite a long evening for us if this is what we're going to watch. Just side to side Manchester City, who are very comfortable with the ball. Don't look that motivated to get a third at the minute, but they'll just sit on it for now and wait for an opening. Guéhi's got that long ball in his locker and uses it all the way over to the far side. Trapped by Savinho, far side, running at his man, flicks it around the outside of the left boot. Nunez with the ball and looks dangerous as well. Richards with another good defensive header. Big goal in the SBL to bring you shortly. Aït-Nouri to the byline. Cross comes in, blocked by Munoz, and it will be a corner kick to Man City. Well, Celtic have themselves the goal. Ben Nygren with it. Looks like it's going to be Manchester City bringing players on. It's Jeremy Doku. So Celtic will go back a point behind Hearts on 79 with that game to play at Celtic Park between Celtic and Hearts at the weekend. So it looks like Nathan Ake, the Dutchman, and Jeremy Doku. We're going to see Mateus Nunes make way for Ake, and I'm going to guess it's going to be Savinho coming off for Jeremy Doku, but we will see. Might be a bit of a change in the formation with Ake coming on. It's going to be Guardiola coming off, can you believe? So Aït-Nouri, Guéhi, Kusanov and Ake at the back, and Doku goes somewhere in that forward line. But to say you're 2-0 down and you peg back looking at Jeremy Doku, arguably their best outfield player minus, of course, Erling Haaland, it's not good viewing for the Eagles. No,
it's going to be tricky, isn't it? Especially for like Daniel Munoz, who has to deal with him. Jeremy Doku this season has been a different level of player. He's hit a new level for his career, hasn't he? He's been unbelievable this season. He truly has, and especially as of late. He's scored some great goals over the last few games. He really has. So you think with a lot of football still to be played in this, he could cause a lot of problems.
Yes, 7 involvements in his 6 goal involvements in the last 7. Is huge for him. Ball's going to come in. It's been cleared out by Palace. Can't make it stick there and racing back to get the ball. Jeremy Doku all the way back. He goes, I should say, 7 goal involvements in 6 games for Jeremy Doku. I did sell him slightly short to Belgium. He's been, fantastic. That goal he scored against Brentford at the weekend, that wrapped goal into the top right-hand corner. In the end, their shooting now is absolutely brilliant. As he comes on, and would love a goal himself, just shy of the hour mark. On halfway, right of centre, is Bernardo Silva. Forward he comes against that Palace line, and I think Palace should have been the team to make the substitutions first. And even fresher legs for City as they come forward. Semenyo in the box, right hand side, feeds it back to Foden. Love a goal himself, going all the way through. Maybe a chance to just overplay it here. It's been shot ricocheted to Doku, left hand side of the box, goes to the edge to Marmoush. Maybe another shot comes in. Henderson watches it wide, comes a easy, pulls away from it. Maybe just a sight of overplaying it there, Man City, but they were flirting with it.
Yeah, they were, and once again, they just look super dangerous. Don't they, coming forward? It took them a while, like we said, to get going, didn't it, in this game, in terms of just picking up the intensity, picking up the speed in the final third. I think as soon as Foden had that moment, the back heel to create the goal, I think that's when they were like, right, we're going to chill here. And the three players coming on for Palace right on the hour mark, I'm not surprised. It's the three key players as expected. It's the likes of Strand Larsen, Wharton, and it's Myler Sarr. And it's going to be Mateta, Will Hughes, and Jeremy Pino to make way.
I'm very surprised Brennan Johnson's still on the field. I really don't want to criticise him, but he's not had a good game at all. I'm very surprised he's survived that. But Adam Wharton comes on in that engine room. Ismail Assar, the main hitter, alongside Strand Larsen as well. So now's the chance to change the game. Don't really bring you goals outside of England, but Alaves have just taken the lead at home to Barcelona, of course. Maybe just be on the beach after their bus parade, but that will take Alaves out of the relegation zone. Huge goal for them. As the ball's played forward, looking for Ismail Assar, but Silva's going to play it forward himself. Chris Richards heads it down. First touch is for Wharton. Savvy inside to Lerma. On the 180s, looking for a pass. Fizzes it to Munoz. Down the line for Sarr. He's given him a bit of work to do, but he's good with his feet. That's a back heel. Too much on it for the number 7. And just off the ball. They are not really in this game at the minute, Palace, but you would pose the question with half an hour to go. If they scored next, I know that's so cliche, but 2-0 down, they score next. Back in this game, maybe a bit nervous from City. It changes the complexion, and they may just go for it now. Ball in behind from Wharton. Strand Larsen's forced right-hand side ball in's deflected into the keeper's hands. You just been like, if that ball had a bit more curve, Strand Larsen's in on goal. It forced him wide. Yeah, it
really could have been in the end, Strand Larsen, but it's a bit of a waste, isn't it? But there we go. He's probably offside, but the pass from Wharton, he's in behind. It's a decent ball, which is just what they've not had in this game. So it's something for them to really build on. And there's still a lot of time to be played. Only 61 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, a lot of game to go, but that's positives. That's a lot better than what we've seen from Palace in the last 30-odd minutes. As Doku has it left-hand side. Inside he goes to Ake. First touches for him since coming on. Looks like he's taken up the left centre-half role. And Kusanov may have just gone to right-back, where we originally thought he was playing this evening. Gahey bang in the centre of the Etihad pitch. Moves right to Kusanov on halfway. Down the line, right-hand side, Savinho drops a bit deep to collect the ball and returns it back to the sender. Manchester City 2, Crystal Palace 0, 62 minutes on the clock. 2 assists for Phil Foden, 1 a back heel, delicious, a majestic back heel to set up Semenyo for the first goal just after the half-hour mark, and then 5 minutes before the break, setting up Omar Marmoush, the Egyptian, filling in for Erling Haaland this evening, and getting the job done. And not far off full time, but it looks like Manchester City will be pushing Arsenal the whole way and make them earn this title. But the ball played forwards is a poor one. Mitchell, he's delaying the pass, and he just needed to get it off there, and he's having to go backwards here. If he just got that off earlier, Strand Larsen with a really poor pass backwards, and then a poor pass back himself. Ismail Assar may just be in if he can pull the trigger. It's a really poor shot straight into the hands of Donnarumma on his weaker left foot, and he's apologising to Strand Larsen. If he got the call, it would have been a hard one to try play around the corner of the Man City defender, but a very seldom mistake. If he just maybe, you're asking a lot of him, but if he just a flick or something behind him to feed through Strand Larsen.
Yeah, I thought he could have maybe just drove at Ake a little bit more. Yeah, I mean, he's got him for pace, absolutely. Yes, going on the outside would have meant going onto his weaker left foot, but I mean, when you play at this level, you've got to be comfortable in doing that. Yeah, I thought he takes it on a little bit early, tame effort. But yeah, Crystal Palace, they're in a good spell. Last 5 minutes, they've been the better side.
And touch forward from Semenyo may just be erased away if this ball goes in. It's all the way across the face of goal and out the other side of the box to the near side. Doku on it, may go for the cross. Doesn't like that early cross. Always likes to run it as fullback. Backwards to Nunes. Doku to the edge to Ake. Better signs from Palace though, already from them 3 substitutions. Doku, left flank, stands still at the minute up against 2, so he's having to go backwards to Ake. It's patient once again from City. Gahey zips it forward, that's a good ball for Foden. Good strong challenge from Cambo, steps out, that's better from Palace, a bit more aggressive, that's a foul from Foden. He runs away from the referee and he may just be lucky to get away with the yellow card. He is going to get away with it. It will be a free kick for Crystal Palace. The French defender did really well, and then Lerma used his body and just barricaded into the back of him. And like I say, a Palace free kick deep in their own half. We'll probably just go short from this one and try and work it out from the back. And they're going to go backwards into their own box actually to Lacroix. Feeds it to the near side to Munoz and already puts them on the back foot, I think. They're probably better off just launching it forward. They're going to go all the way back to the edge of their own 6-yard box. Nothing really showing for them so far. And then a ball around the corner that's fed it to no one. That's really, really sloppy play from Palace. It's not been good enough from them. It's not an on-the-beach performance, but there's definitely very poor. And it's almost like they've got into the European final. They've got nothing to play for, and there's no real motivation behind them. And like I say, they've played out from the back all night and they've made a couple of mistakes. I just think if they did even just look for that long one hopeful ball, you don't know which way it'll fall, especially in the conditions. But City back on the ball, goes to the far side, down the line to Savinho, ball around the corner, not enough on it. Cambo will pick it up. Lerma, that's a good touch away from his man. Early ball, Strand Larsen holding up, surely a pull back by Gahey. It is on halfway. Free kick, that's better. As soon as you get the ball, be positive, look forward, look where you end up.
Yeah, exactly. Crystal Palace have been more positive, haven't they, over the last 5 to 10 minutes or so, especially since the substitutions. It's just added a little bit more energy, a little bit more worry for Manchester City to deal with right now for Man City. Yes, the more goals the merrier, because they're on the same goal difference as Arsenal, but right now it's just about simply winning this game. Whether that means trying to frustrate Palace, maybe stay back a little bit more, which isn't really Man City's game, but they have to win this game.
Yeah, and well, here we go. Finally, a free kick for Palace that they're going to send everyone forward and launch it into the box. It looks like Adam Wharton will do that with the left foot, sending the big lads forward. Very high line from Man City. Wharton, he's going to spread it forward. He's gone straight to the keeper. He's gone out for a goal kick. It's a horrific free kick in the end, so they probably won't do that again. Very high line from City, and it worked out very well indeed. So, goal kick to Man City, and free kicks like that, the ball needs to be a lot better.
It was so poor, wasn't it? Really poor in that sense. And once again, Man City just able to kill the game a little bit more.
It's one of them for City. They came out the box slow, and I was thinking, is Palace going to make them really work for this? But it's been a very, I wouldn't say cruise control. They've worked very hard, Man City, but they haven't been stretched that hard really since that disallowed goal in the opening minute. Wharton, that's a good chest, and that's a flick forward that's going to reach no one. He's back a couple of minutes there for Adam Wharton, unfortunately for him. You'll probably see him linked away in the summer, you'd like to think. Big teams will probably be sniffing around for the England midfielder. Semenyo over to the far side to Savinho, looking to put the Jets on here. City try and go for a third, try and better Arsenal's goal difference as they both sit on 42 plus. Phil Foden in the centre, moves it to the far side on a hat-trick, of course, of assists. Gahey keeps hold of it, moves it to the near side to Silva. Can't really tell where these Manchester City players are playing. Of course, you can tell the back four, but the rest of them are just sort of in a free roam position, taking up here, there, and everywhere. You can see Omar Marmoush picking up a number 10 role. Ball down the line, it's come off Brennan Johnson, and it'll be a throw in far side for City on halfway. Do you see this game changing at all in this next 22 plus minutes, or do you think this is exactly the pattern we're going to see?
Yeah, well, I think Palace, they need that goal before the 80th, really, for any real chance of getting something from this game. But yeah, for Man City, I mean, they've just got to keep frustrating them in that sense. They've gone a bit flat. Maybe Man City could do with another change themselves. Someone should just up the game a bit. The likes of Ryan Cherky to get in possession, turn almost standard possession into some real attacking opportunities as Mark Gahey spreads one forwards. But once again, it's a poor ball, but they win the rebound.
And they're coming forward again with Semenyo. Moves it to Nuri near side. 68 on the clock. Man City 2, Palace 0. Bernardo Silva on the spin. Stockport are still 2-0 up at home to Stevenage. 3-0 on aggregate, so it looks like they may be meeting Bolton, or well, they will be meeting Bolton or Bradford in the League One final at Wembley, but Bolton with a 1-0 lead on aggregate into the second leg as they travel to Bradford. Hearts are 2-0 up at home to Falkirk still, as Celtic still lead 2-1 away at Motherwell. So a point they lead, so Hearts will not lift the title tonight as it stays like this unless Motherwell get themselves an equaliser. Rangers are 1-1 with Hibs as well as City come forward, right hand side, moving it to Foden, stabbed by Lacroix, has won it back, need to get forward, look positive, need to move the ball quicker here, Palace, as Wharton carries it out centrally of his own half. Brennan Johnson, that's a good ball around the corner, looking for him on the far side, going to need to be a better out ball, he's onside, bad first touch, left footed ball in, is hopeless, it's out for a goal kick in the end. And I don't want to keep ringing the bell, I don't, it's really hard for me to not, I don't want to pick on one person, but Brennan Johnson has had a horrific game tonight.
Yeah, he often does when I watch him play. I'm going to be very honest. Brennan Johnson, he just needs that form to hit again, doesn't he? We saw him have a spell at Spurs where his performances even then weren't great, but he was just scoring, wasn't he? He was scoring. At the moment, I mean, he just looks lost. He's on the left wing at the moment. He's not a left winger. Is he a right winger? He's not. Certainly not a striker. I couldn't tell you what his real strength is at this level, and once again that just summed it up. It was a very bad first touch, which took him wide, and then he took the cross on his weaker foot, which sometimes I admire, seeing a player just go, right, I'm just going to use my weak foot and try create something, but he crossed it, and you could tell it was his weak foot.
Yeah, Spurs, he didn't. If you watched him in the game, he didn't pop up, he wasn't involved, and then all of a sudden, right place, right time, and he scored the goals. That's what sort of got him out of scot-free, if anything, because he hit the back of the net. But if you're 16 games in, you haven't scored and you've only assisted one goal, a bit of question marks over him. There's Ismail Assad down the line from Munoz, straight into the back of it, Ake, and all the way back it goes to Donnarumma. The Italian just controls it on the edge of his own box on the old pink as they kick from right to left in the second half to Aït-Nouri. Back they go, and they have not been tested, Man City, for a good over a third of this game, because Palace, I think, did put the ball in the back of that. I believe it did go over the line. We will check it. It didn't go down in the form as a disallowed goal, but we'd have to have another look at it. It did look like it just about crossed the line, but either way, since that, there's been nothing to show for Crystal Palace. It's been cruise control for Pep Guardiola's side. Aït-Nouri going towards halfway. Here he comes, left-footed pass. He goes, and inside he goes to Bernardo Silva. Inside to Gehi, centrally in the pitch. Over to the far side to Kusanov. He drives down the right flank. He may go for a ball into the box. He has Lacroix with a good defensive header to the edge of the box to Doku. Left side of the box. He's got a man down his line. He's trying to go outside the football, but Lacroix heads it clear. Ismail Assar's going to bring it clear up against Silva. What can he do? Not much in terms of support. No one's committed themselves forward. Good ball inside to Munoz. Need to get bodies forward here. Wharton over to the far side. He's put some good balls in. Brendan Johnson's just stood offside again. Ball forward.
Oh, what is he doing?
And he's 10 yards offside. He stood 10 yards, and Mitchell's probably passed him to make a point of that.
Yeah, it's poor from Mitchell. It's poor from Brendan Johnson. I think he's that obviously offside, Nathan, that Mitchell shouldn't pass him. But then again, Brendan Johnson was offside for at least a good 5 seconds, which is a long time to know when you're offside as a player. He had no care whatsoever to get back onside. I mean, great line from Man City. They all jumped really high. But I mean, what on earth are the Palace players playing at next? There's potential in this game, or there has been in the second half. And I think that's why Guardiola's raging with his players, because he's looking at every single one of them and he's going ballistic. It's almost like you need to realise what kind of game you're in right now. If you have the lapse of concentration and throw this away, you say goodbye to a Premier League title. That's how important this is to stay locked in almost.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to agree. It's been a nonchalant performance, but they've got away with it because Palace have been support. I think Justin Devaney's there to replace Brendan Johnson. I think that substitution just there to be made, but he's going to have a go now, Brendan Johnson. He may have just won his team a corner. He's done well there, headed down the line, Gay on the slide. I think that's a good time, Key, to pass it over.
Yes, thank you, Nathan, as we once again see the cameras linger on at Brennan Johnson. And it's going to be a corner ready to be whipped in. Brennan Johnson, the man over this one. He's ready to find the likes of Lacroix Richards and Cavo in that. The three centre halves are up. So let's see what they can conjure up from this one. Brennan Johnson, the man over this corner kick. 73 minutes on the clock. The Welsh international ready to work this one in right in front of the travelling Palace fans. Can he get a good delivery in this one? He floats it towards the back post, straight into the hands of Donnarumma. He never strikes you as a set piece taker either, does he? And I'm not really too sure he'll be taking too many after that. And here come Palace on the counter attack. Oh, should I say Man City on the counter attack? It's Jeremy Doku down the left hand side. He just slows it down, and I think that's because Man City need to regain a bit of control.
Yeah, and they're happy just to sit on the ball because they're so comfortable. And 2 arms up in the air, which indicates it'll be back post, and then he cuts across the ball and glides it so high that Donnarumma can just take 2 steps to his left and catch it in 2 hands. It's far too easy. A team better on their day if they were fighting for something. Let's talk about West Ham, or a team pushing for Europe like Brentford, Brighton, Everton, if you'd like. Putting up a good fight. Man City tonight may have been taking it slightly easy, let's face it, because they know what they're up against with this Palace side, but they may have been able to get at Man City because, like you say, that finally Brendan Johnson's going to come off. It's going to be Kamada who's going to come on in his place, the former Frankfurt man. I'd probably say Justin Devaney on that side, but maybe a swivel in formation or something. I'm not quite sure, but there was definitely promise and potential tonight for City to be got at. You don't know what it's like for Man City though. Have they seen that Palace don't really care about this performance, so Man City have just taken it slightly easy to conserve energy for the final? You don't know what goes on mentally, do you? Either way, it's been an easy 3 points when it gets to it.
Yeah, it really has. And finally, Brennan Johnson's been taken off in this run. Couple of changes coming up for Manchester City as well. We're going to see Kovacic and I believe Ryan Cherki very, very soon. I'm just guessing that I'm presuming that's Ryan Cherki, and it says we couldn't see. All we could see was his back, and he had his top up, so we couldn't see his shirt number. But I'd be surprised if it's not Ryan Cherki getting ready to come on in a moment like this where they're just needing a bit of control. Kovacic will add that as well, as we now see Matt Gay in possession. He's going to look towards the back for Donnarumma. He's under a bit of pressure. He goes long in the end, the Italian. Up towards Semenyo, doesn't win his header. Lerma finds Wharton, who looks to get the better of his man. Finds Kamada, good foot in from Mark Gay. He's had a pretty solid game against his former club. That won't be a surprise to the Palace fans, because he always has a solid game, doesn't he? He's always brilliant. Mark Gay, you can imagine, which is a real credit to him, one of the first names on the team sheet of the World Cup for England. As you see Strand Larson, Nathan Ake clears his lines, looking in behind towards Marmoush. Dean Henderson, the former Manchester United goalkeeper, clears it long. Ismail Assad's bundled to the ground, no free kick. Nice quick football from Foden and Bernardo Silva, being 2 key players to the success of Guardiola at Man City. Kuznov takes a poor final touch, but it ricochets once again for Savinho. It just feels like those bounces haven't gone the way of Palace today. Savinho again looks to touch it round Camvo. Good sharp turn from him, but Camvo's quick to deal with it, and he puts his boot through it and all the way up to the halfway line, and Man City can regain possession again.
Yeah, I'm watching this Palace side and the body language. Cambo's just jogging in his own box, trying to defend that. I just think, I don't say they don't care, but it's a team that aren't fighting for anything in the Premier League, and I just think they can see it that way, and they're really not that bothered about it. And once City took control early in that first half after that disallowed, we'll call it a disallowed goal for now until we find out, but since that it doesn't look like Palace have really cared, and it may just get worse for them here because there's a 3-on-3.
Yeah, 3-on-3 in the end. It's Semenyo driving forwards. He looks for a cutback, he gets it all wrong, and he knows as soon as he passes it, and Guardiola will be demanding that he stops feeling sorry for himself and gets back in position and tracks back. There's 77 minutes on the clock. Crystal Palace, it's almost like they've hit a stage in this game where they're out of ideas themselves, though.
Yeah, I don't think they're bothered. I think they're sitting in defensively negatively, that they're tired, and like you say, they're not really that bothered about it because it doesn't make much difference to them, win, lose or draw, unfortunately. So I don't think they're that fussed altogether at all. With 12.5 plus additional to go, there won't be that much additional because the ball's been in play for most of this second half, so it's just Ismail Assar just passed it out for a throw and there was no one there. He's passed it without looking. He said his teammate he should be there, which he probably should, Munoz, but he's probably tired. Well, there is Ryan Cherki, you're absolutely on the money, and off comes Savinho, I believe, or was it a number 7 that went off? Might be Omar Marmoush coming off.
Yeah, Marmoush getting ready to come off for Cherki. There's the initial change, and then we're going to see Kovacic come on as well in a quick moment. But yeah, he's Malisari. He almost played that pass blind because that's usually where Munoz is. He's usually quite advanced, isn't he? And Bernardo Silva's going to make way, who's done a very steady job today, the number 20.
Kept it ticking. He's sat in between the two centre halves at times, very deep from what we usually seen him in his Man City career. He's not really pulling the strings at 10, but a little further back. He does the job, doesn't he? Kept it ticking over, kept the ball moving, was in and there. He worked hard at the defensively as well. He takes a well-earned break as well. Probably see him in the final on Saturday at Wembley. Kovacic comes on in his place, and not too bad replacement, is it? Marmoush and Silva for Kovacic and Cherki. Some team.
Yeah, it's not bad, is it? What a squad they've got. As right there, he plays a blind crossfield pass that could have put them under all sorts of pressure, but it finds Kusanov in the end. I think it's been brilliant today. He plays a forward pass that's just a little bit overhit. The clearance from Lacroix isn't a great one. Kovacic slips it through for Semenyo, who can't get there ahead of Richards, but Richards' tackle only goes into the path of Savinho, who's up against Mitchell. Step overs from him, jinking one way then the other. Then he recycles it for Kusanov. Foden finds Kovacic, who drives forward towards Savinho. Now it's going to go across towards Matt Gahey. Matt Gahey now in possession, finds Jeremy Doku. Doku finds Nathan Ake. And Man City, they're just almost just trying to bait Crystal Palace out because they're enjoying themselves again, just in terms of trying to see this one out. Kusanov back towards Matt Gahey. Now it's going to be Kovacic. Matt Gahey again. He's going to look to the goalkeeper, Donnarumma. It's almost like they don't really need to try create any chances. And Donnarumma makes a big howler. He passes it straight to Kamada, who's in one-on-one. He goes down looking for a penalty. Is he going to get it? No. He's going to be booked for diving. He's Kamada. What on earth is Donnarumma doing playing out from the back there? And Kamada's been booked, and he can't believe it in the end. And VAR will have a look.
Oh, it's hopeless from Kamada. It really is. Really poor out from the back. That was a chance, a really big chance. I believe he's dived because his touch lets him down. First one not so bad to drive him in the box. Second one's poor underneath him. There's not enough in that. Kovacic pleads his case. Let's have a look. There's a brush of the knee. I mean, in this day and age, you won't put it past them, but I don't think he's going to get it.
No, never. For me, it's really poor from Kamada in the end. His touches, but it's even worse from Donnarumma, surely.
Oh, he should get a yellow card for the outball. I mean, this stage of the game, 2-0 up, cruising. You need the 3 points. He's just been too lazy and nonchalant with it and too relaxed. They were more clever. There was Strong Larson in the right-hand side, in the centre. If Kamada got his touch right, Nathaniel Klein's coming on for Munoz. I think he's absolutely put his all into it. He's knackered at this point in the game, but maybe Nathaniel Klein's last season in a Palace shirt as well. But Kamada, he needs to get that right. There's been openings there. There really has been openings there for Palace if they play their cards right. Another man that's going to be making way from his club as well. John Stones is coming on for Phil Foden, but this will be his last, probably one of his last outings at the Etihad for John Stones as he comes on for him and shut up shop, most likely.
Yeah, Phil Foden getting ready to make way, and that's a defensive change. And someone to see the ball, and I think Guardiola will be delighted with Phil Foden's performance today. And I mean, he was magic in the first half for the final 15 minutes of it, wasn't he? He had some unbelievable moments to create the 2 goals, and he's had to be patient, hasn't he, Phil Foden? It's been another one of those seasons where he has a good run of form, where he had it around that November time. He looked unstoppable, lost his place, couldn't really get it back. He's got a rare start today, and he's done pretty well.
He has. The fact that he's got them 2 assists to his name. If he didn't have them assists, there'd be a little question mark over the performance and how it is, but it was actually two very good assists.
Yeah, what touchdown is from Strand Larsen, takes it into his stride. He then puts it over the bar. Good chance from Jørgen Strand Larsen there. It's a great first touch, and once again, it's that ball over the top from Wharton. The first touch couldn't have been better for Strand Larsen, with the outside of his right boot as well, just to take it into his stride. But his shot, he's almost desperately about to hit it, isn't he? Which is why he lashed it over the bar.
Yeah, I feel for him. I think the weather's taking effect. You see the bounce, it just skids away from him ever so slightly, unfortunately. So he's on the stretch, which means he's leaning back. And then big goal in the SPL. Looks like Motherwell have an equaliser 5 minutes before the end. Wow, if it ends that way, Hearts win the title.
Yes, we see Savinho in on goal. What a finish that is from Savinho, and it's Ryan Cherky who pops up with the assist, but that's a big one for Savinho, who just slots it past the goalkeeper. That should be game over. 3-0 in this one.
Yeah, and well, I think they need to have a bit of a look at themselves, do Crystal Palace, because they've had chances this evening to make a game of this, but it's got away from them, and a missed chance, a couple of chances moments ago. Even then, it's his first goal in the Premier League this season for Savinho. You're absolutely right that his career really hasn't set off, has it, in the city, in the sky blue. Well, he bolts off, absolutely chuffed to pieces with himself, so it shows you how much it means to him. But that is dead and buried, and that's an easy 3. It's back-to-back 3-0 wins at home for Manchester City, it looks like. Ryan Cherky just lays him off, perfect weight on it. Chris Richards playing everyone on side, left-footed ball across the goal to the bottom left-hand corner. If this was a tennis match, that'd be game, set, and match. Yeah, and it is probably game, set, and match as we see it again. It's just great from Cherky, isn't it? What a run from him once more. And this is what we said. We said that if they bring him on, well, that probably will seal the deal, because he'll just add that control. He'll create another chance. And that's what Cherky does. And I'm excited to see Cherky have a full season next season of actually just playing regular football from the start. He looks like he's got Premier League Player of the Year potential written all over him, doesn't he, Ryan Cherky? He absolutely does. Next season could be that. As you see a ball at the top for Semenyo. The back heel is a clever one, well defended by Canvo in the end. Spot on from him. As we now see Kovacic, he's in possession. As they go across towards the right-hand side. I think, unfortunately for Hearts, I don't think they officially win it. Do they? I think it goes down to goal difference, and they play each other on the final day, which means Celtic have an opportunity. They would have to beat Hearts by, I believe, 5 goals. Or something like that. It would be 3 because Motherwell would concede the 2, wouldn't they? Is that right?
Well, exactly that. It's all going to be complicated, too complicated for me to figure out while focusing as well on what's going on this City game. So all I'll say is it goes down to goal difference on the last day, but Hearts will not care. They'll back themselves to not get hammered in that one. Savinho, what skill that is. Ball into the penalty area, cleared away. It falls back to the Brazilian. Here's Aitnuri. He looks for a pass to Jeremy Doku. He finds Doku, who looks to cut inside. Well, he's scored a few goals in that manner, hasn't he, as of late? And now it is Jeremy Doku who finds Ryan Cherky, just skims it over the head. What a ball. Savinho with a strike. He puts it wide in the end, off balance. And Ryan Cherky's having a blast out there. Yeah,
he saw the party football and wanted an invite, didn't he? And he's got it, scooping it with the left foot. Lovely ball. Savinho again. Outside of the left foot, full volley. It's a little harder than the one he scored moments ago. But we talk about goal difference, and they've got 1 goal better, and it could just get even worse for Savinho here. I don't know whether it's cramp, I think he's saying, but if it's tactical or not, I'm not quite sure. When you see the player's breath out there, it's the middle of May. It's crazy, isn't it? You see the player's breath. But there we go. Arsenal 79 points, Man City 77 after 36 games played each. 42 goal difference for Arsenal, 43 for Manchester City. So say out of some miracle that Arsenal draw to Burnley on Monday, and then Man City end up winning and Arsenal lose their next game, Man City would eventually win the title. It's still in Arsenal's hands, of course it is, but they're pushing Arsenal all the way to the end.
Yeah, exactly. They really are. And as we now see Pep Guardiola watching on with a little bit of maybe tension. He just wants the full-time whistle, doesn't he, in this one. 87 minutes on the clock. Manchester City 3, Crystal Palace 0. 87 minutes on the clock. As mentioned, as we see Jefferson Lerma, ball to the left. He finds Daichi Kamada. It's going to go out of play for a throw-in. Kusanov with the ball in hand. Throws it down the right-hand side for Semenyo. It comes off his heel and out for a throw-in. And that's going to go out of play for a throw-in still. As we wait for this to be taken. Tyreek Mitchell with the ball in hand. And he still has the ball in hand, Tyreek Mitchell, as he throws it in. Jefferson Lerma with a back pass all the way to Lacroix. Nathaniel Klein finds Adam Wharton. Good foot in from Kovacic. It's poor from Wharton. Jeremy Doku skips past him. The referee plays advantage. And Ryan Cherky, great footwork from him as he's still going himself. He finds Semenya, and that's a good tackle from Mitchell. Paul from Semenya in the end. Wharton, he looks over the top, dinked ball towards Strand Larsen, who's not going to get there ahead of Matt Gay. Yes, he does in the end, actually, and then the final touch is a poor one. And he did well to get there ahead of Matt Gay initially, but especially in these conditions, struggled to keep it in play.
Yeah, I feel for him. He came on at a time that got pretty tough for Palace in the end, and the game was sort of gone from them, unfortunately for them and him. But he's tried. He's had a couple of chances. He had a couple of poor touches in there as well. Unfortunately for them, it's not been Palace's night at all, to be frank. They haven't really been that impressed with them, but it's hard to judge them at this stage of the season when they have nothing to play for against the Man City side. They're fighting. They're away at Brentford at the weekend as well in London, so it's one of them that Brentford have something to play for as well, so it could be rinse and repeat. And then they got Arsenal on the final day, so it could be a fair end of the season to forget.
Yeah, here's Ryan Knight. He tried to get the better of Lacroix. In the end, he just kicks it straight into the hands of Dean Henderson. And yes, we've had a goal in this second half. I can't imagine we get too much stoppage time again. In this one, 89 minutes on the clocks. Hearts 3-0 up against Falkirk. Motherwell and Celtic are still 2-2, so that leads to a very exciting final day of the season for Hearts to win it at Celtic Stadium. That'll be quite the sweet one as well for them. As we now see Nathan Ake goes across towards John Stones. And John Stones in possession. There isn't. Well, I think it's always that sweeter and will be that sweeter if a side other than Rangers and Celtic do win it. It's the fact they all play each other so much, so it's not like you get lucky to win the Scottish Premier League season, is it? Because you play each other so much that Hearts really have just been that good this season. As we see the ball go into Adam Wharton, Lacroix gets the better of him, sliding in his Kovacic completely. Sold himself. Strand Larsen's miles offside, but he's one-on-one. The flag's going to stay down for now as he finds his Miley Sarr. He is offside, so no matter what happens, ball into the hands of Donnarumma. 5 minutes for added time. Not sure really where they've got that from. Looks like there might be a big goal in France as well, potentially. I'm not sure if I just saw that it went 1-1 between Lens and PSG. That's quickly disappeared, so I'm not sure if there's potentially a goal ruled out in that one. As we now see Donnarumma in possession, finds Kovacic into Ryan Cherky now. Not long left of this one at all. Cherky carrying it forwards. He's got options ahead if he can use them. He finds Kusanov. Kovacic now. As Nathan Ake to his left. He finds the Dutchman into Doku. Now it's going to be Kovacic once more. Doku again. Ryan Cherky switches play on his right boot. It looked like a good ball, and that's a problem. And that's a real problem because Savinho, trying to keep that in play, has just pulled up. He's pulled something as Savinho, and they're always the worries.
Yeah, he had a problem with that right knee before that I thought was cramp. He's still acting like it's cramp. Maybe he just needs to be taken off at this point. I'm not sure they made all their substitutions, City. I think they've only made the 3, which has surprised me that there's 5 minutes added on because the ball's barely gone out of play. I think Palace used all of theirs, yeah, interesting to see. I'm not sure, but he may be hooked off. I'm not quite sure, but he's going to be pulled back to his feet, and nonetheless, it looks like he's going to be okay. Yeah, no mercy shown from the officials. I don't think there needs to be 5 minutes added on.
Yeah, exactly. That certainly wasn't needed, as we now see this throw ready to be taken. As Tyreek Mitchell with the ball in hand. He's ready to launch it down the line. Kusanov finds Strand Larsen. Ball's in the middle for Kovacic, but that's going to be a free kick again. Like you said, Nathan, it's just job well done, isn't it, for Manchester City in this one? It looked like 30 minutes in. Could be a tricky one for them to break down that Crystal Palace structure, but they managed to do it.
Yep, they did. And like you say, if that goal sort of very first thing for Palace, it could have been a different game, but cruised to it in the end. Didn't really let them earn it. Man City, job done, get it behind them, and then they go on to the FA Cup final.
Yeah, they didn't have to play Haaland either, so he's well rested for the final. He'll be delighted, won't he, Pep Guardiola, because all those front three on the score sheet today, Mamouche, Savinho and Semenya. Foden involved in 2 assists, Ryan Cherky getting an assist. He'll be so happy with his forward-thinking players, won't he, in this one. And the defence have been so solid. When called upon, I think Matt Gahey and Kusanov have been excellent in this game. Free kick for Man City with just 2 minutes remaining. Cherky takes it towards Kovacic. Now it's Aitneri. Kovacic again. Aitneri turns away, finds Cherky, looks to put it through the legs of Lacroix. Good defending between the two fellow Frenchmen. Be interesting to see how much game time Cherky gets at the World Cup for France. I'm not sure if he's a regular for that France national team, but I mean, you look at the France lineup on what it potentially could be. It's slightly scary, isn't it, for what France could have to throw at every nation. We now see Kovacic in towards Cherky now, who turns away. Cherky driving forwards, looks for a ball in behind towards Semenyo. What a ball it is from Cherky. Semenyo checks back. He's still in the penalty area. He looks to lay it off for Savinho, who's okay to continue. Aitneri now lays it off for Jeremy Doku. He cuts onto his left, goes for goal. Well blocked away. And Cherky will keep it alive for now. He's driving forwards himself, though. Still is the Frenchman. Looks towards Aitneri. Now it's Kovacic across for Jeremy Doku. Cuts onto his right boot, as he always likes to do. Cherky, Aitneri. Back for Kovacic again. He's going to cut onto his right foot. Switches it. What a ball that is for Semenyo. Takes a bit of a balloon touch, doesn't he? As it's cleared away and out for a throw. But only 60 seconds left. It is still all Man City.
Relentless. They won't let Palace rest on it until that final whistle. You got to feel for Palace, really. They just want to get on the bus and go home, I think. But it's been absolute non-stop from Manchester City with what you call a second-string team. And like you say, they've rested Haaland for Saturday as well, so they've got the job done. It's a very good night to be a Manchester City supporter.
Yeah, it certainly is. As we now see Gay, Phil Foden, no surprise, given man of the match in this one. Paul first touch from Kusanov. Sean Larson steps in ahead of Kovacic, gives him a bit of a drag. Nothing given in the end though. Wharton to the left-hand side. Final chance of the game. Surely he's going to go to Palace. Daichi Kamada on the attack, opens it up, goes for goal. It takes a deflection and out of play for a corner kick for a potential consolation goal.
Yeah, maybe. I'm trying to see exactly what's going on, but maybe save a bit of face. It'd look a lot better if they could get a goal back. But it'll be the last action of the game. It's going to be 3 points for Manchester City.
Yeah, 3 points for Man City in the end. As see John Stones picture of him. It's going to be the final thing of the game in this run at the Etihad. But like we said, the pressure remains on Arsenal. Well, it's still in Arsenal's hands, but Manchester City hand it back over to Arsenal to get their job done, which you'd expect them to do at home to Burnley. But Kamada hangs it towards the back post into the hands of Donnarumma. That should be that. It's probably going to finish Manchester City 3, Palace 0, thanks to goals from Semenya, Marmoush and Savinho. Phil Foden creating both the goals in the first half, and that is that at the Etihad. Well, Pep Guardiola will be delighted with a rotated side's performance tonight at the Etihad. It finishes Manchester City 3, Crystal Palace 0. Thank you for joining.
Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why